Hello, it's Carlos with PC747. Welcome to the channel. If you have always dreamed of flying the Queen of the Skies, you've come to the right place. This is a clip of me landing a 747 in Osan Air Base in Korea. Flying a 747 involves the same principles as flying a smaller aircraft. Knowing systems and respecting limitations is the key. But before you begin simulator training, you will be required to complete several weeks of company indoctrination. There is no testing during this period. However, if you are not studying aircraft systems in your hotel room, you should be. Companies will also require you to complete an online systems course before sim training begins. You will be provided a paper tagger like this. Touching every item again and again is the best way to learn cockpit flows. One of the biggest struggles new hires have is mastering the FMS and autopilot systems. All of the companies will either have training devices or programs through computers that new hires can use in order to get up to speed. That will all be on your own time, though. You will spend a great deal of time in FTDs, flight training devices like these. The sessions will be easy at first, but then, as time progresses, they will get harder and harder. If your performance is not up to standards, you will be sent home. But if you do well, you will commence full motion simulator training. Things will start out easy, but they will get harder. You will have to master 2 roles if you want to fly a 747, both as an acting captain and as a co-pilot. Why? Because unlike UPS, ACMI carriers have heavy crews, 4 pilots that fill both roles. I'm not going to lie, the very first time you show up at the simulator center to fly a 747, it's kind of surreal because the aircraft is so big and there are so many switches and buttons and circuit breakers, and there's so much that you have to learn in such a short period of time. Each simulator training session will typically take 6 hours, 1 hour before, 4 hours in the box, and 1 hour post-flight discussion. The best piece of advice I can give is that you review each day's training syllabus prior to showing up for training so that you are ready. Unfortunately, no one gave me that bit of advice, and they won't give you that advice either. Okay, here's something really cool. Take a look at this. We're crossing the equator from the northern hemisphere. See the N's, the letter N? It switches to the letter S. Flying skill is certainly important, but as important is assimilating yourself into the company's culture, systems, procedures, checklists, and flows so that you can transition smoothly. Christians have Bibles, Muslims have the Quran, airlines have FCOMs, flight crew operations manuals. How you conduct your work is dictated by it, and it must be followed. Every aspect of your conduct and how things are done, including how checklists are run, can be found in the FCOM. If you're going to get in trouble, it's because you did not follow company policies or the procedures listed in the FCOM. So flying a 747 is really as much about company integration as flying skills. By the way, when you're on the line and you're doing an exterior pre-flight, do your company a favor and make sure vehicles around the aircraft are chocked. On a previous fuel stop here, the fuel truck was not chocked. It rolled away, tearing off the bottom of the fuel panel, which is designed to do just that. Part of flying a 747 also involves getting acquainted with a different sight picture for landing because you will be so much higher than you have been in any other aircraft that you have flown. Although it's rarely discussed, utilizing the radio altimeter to assist you with landings is crucial. You will hear the following altitude callouts from it: 1,000, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, with the last 50 being the most crucial. In 747s, all flares commence at 30 feet. If the radio altimeter skips any number between 50 and 10, it's going to be a bad landing.
50, 30, 20, 10.
So pay attention to it and use it. By the way, Big Brother is watching. All of the aircraft have snitch machines that record and report everything to the company. Hard landings, long landings, unstabilized approaches, etc. If it's serious enough, you will be receiving an email. If it's bad enough, you will be sent back to the schoolhouse for additional training. Someone might ask, what's the best way to handle an engine failure after V1 on takeoff? My recommendation is that you rotate more slowly than you normally would and that you climb out at V2 plus 10 instead of at V2. Why? The FAA provides you a 10-knot buffer. With the loss of an engine, directional control and handling qualities will be easier at V2 plus 10 than at V2. You will be given simulated fires while flying over land. Instead of fumbling with the autopilot, deploy the speed brakes, disconnect the autopilot, and turn immediately manually to an airport. If you are hired by Atlas, National, or Western Global, your type rating check ride will go something like this. You will have an engine start anomaly. You will have a takeoff anomaly prior to V1. And then you will climb out normally. You will conduct a series of stall checks to shaker at low altitude and while turning. Your first approach will likely be a non-precision approach, all engine, but on the missed approach, an engine will fail. When you come around for your next approach, you will lose another engine on the same side. Callouts uses AQP, so the tests are far more spread out. You will also have to conduct alternate flap and gear extension procedures, which occur far more slowly when hydraulics have failed. So plan accordingly. Things to avoid. Remember, the 747 is much longer than what you've previously flown. When you line up for takeoff, move forward a couple feet, because if the center wheels in the back are not centered, you will receive a configuration warning. The steering tiller is not required during takeoffs. You have enough rudder authority. Also, be careful with the auto throttles during manual landings. It is an older software system, unlike the 777. It will not maintain airspeed well in turbulence. For that reason, it needs to be off for all manual landings. Never push back without a company release. They decide when you go, you don't. And finally, never fly an approach speed below ref plus 10. If you do, the aircraft will punish you with hard landings. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.